It's Saturday morning, May 11th, 2024. We're at the Clinton County Historical Museum on this bright, beautiful, almost mid-May day, and they're here for National Train Day, I think they're calling it. I just left the Miss Melissa Penfield ballpark where it's Plattsburgh Little League Day, and so I'm sure there's 3 or 4 other things that are national days today, but the one we're interested in is right here, a display, and I heard a diorama or two also here at the Clinton County Historical Association, and talking about trains, and I guess I'm thinking we're talking about the trains of yore, the olden days, trains that made this country what it is, starting in the mid-1800s. We're going to go off topic for a moment, because as I walked in the door, I ran into these 2 young people. I know they're young because my brother Gary taught both of them in school, so they got to be young. What's your name?
Jesse Lavarnway.
And?
Riley Brock Lavarnway.
Okay, and you sound like a couple.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Have the same last name there, Lavarnway.
Yeah.
I hope you
we've been married for over 10 years now.
Yep, since 2013.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is over 10 years. I can do math. Okay, and you guys have a new project, relatively new, that at least something I hadn't heard about. It's called Decoded North, established in 2024, so that's this year.
It's very new, yes. We started this project initially to cover cold cases and unsolved like crimes or fatalities, I guess, and she's the researcher. I'm the technical guy.
Okay. You point the camera?
Yes, I do all the camera and the audio. She does all the research, and
Yep, I'm the one that's obsessed with a good mystery. So that's what the focus is, and that's what I get to work on as far as the artistry, and Jesse takes care of all the audio and the video because I have no idea what that's all about. So I stick to the research part.
Okay, so anything interesting that you're researching right now?
Actually, yes. One of the things that we are kicking off, starting to work on this year, is the disappearance and eventual recovery of Mabel Smith Douglas. First name is Anna. She preferred Mabel. She was the New Jersey College Dean at Rutgers University. She created the first women's college there. But she ended up coming to Lake Placid, and she bought Camp Onondaga. And back in 1933, when she was visiting with her daughter, right before they were going back home to New Jersey, she disappeared. But some of you might know, she was discovered by the Champlain Rec Raiders, a diving club, when they were doing recreational dives in Lake Placid, 30 years almost to the day later.
Lady in the Lake.
Lady in the Lake. Or 33 years. No, it was 30 years. 1963, right?
Oh, we'll call it 31 and a half.
Yeah.
31 and a half.
Yeah. So she was discovered by the divers, and what we thought was just a simple disappearance and then eventual discovery and a mystery as to why it all happened. It turns out that she had a lot of interesting things happen throughout her life, so we want to kind of uncover what happened to her family and what led up to those final moments.
Okay.
Back in the 30s.
So you're making these videos. What are you going to do with them? You sit them in your living room? And
actually, we're gonna. The plan is to release a season on YouTube, actually, and then see how it goes after that, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
We'll take it step by step, I guess.
And then we also just, want to make connections to people in our community and the locals still around to help us tell those stories. And being here today at the Clinton County Historical Association and Museum is the very first step.
Yes.
This is day 1 for us.
Plenty of resources here.
Oh, yes. Such as yourself, even.
okay, are you online right now? Can people find you? Or?
Not totally, but we're getting there.
Either you're online or you're not here, so don't say you're not totally.
We're on some socials, but so far we haven't started our media presence yet.
Nothing posted yet, but shortly, hopefully within the next month or so, we're going to have some things out there for people to see.
Okay, today's May 11th, so it's called Decoded North. Anything you put on would have that name if people want to look for it in the
Yes.
future.
Yes, sir.
All right, Decoded North, and you've got other mysteries, I'm sure, on the back
Oh,
burner that you're
yes.
going to be digging into. And
Yes,
We're
we
not
are.
going to tell
Oh,
you about
no,
those.
I might go out and solve them ahead of you. I watch Murder, She Wrote every day,
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, so I
Oh,
know
wait.
how to solve mysteries.
Now I want to talk more. We can definitely talk a little bit off camera, I suppose.
Okay, so you're the new Jessica Fletcher. Is that the idea here?
Oh, yes, definitely.
That's her.
That's me. Well, thank you so
What
much
are we
for.
going to call you? If she's Jessica Fletcher, who are you?
Oh boy.
I don't
I'll be
know.
like the technical
Poirot.
Matlock guy.
These Poirot.
Bravo. That's
All
great.
right. All right, good luck. I'll be looking for you guys.
Thank
so-
you.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
I guess
And-
same.
and-
Nice meeting you.
And nice meeting you too. And tell Gary we said hello.
Mr. Castine to you.
Mr.
Yes,
Castine.
Mr.
Yes.
Castine to us.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
So much.
All right, Dick Soper, who's the expert here, is kind of busy, so we're going to just take a little shot here and there. Now this here is, you can't tell on camera because everything is relative, but this is N scale, these here. And there's larger ones, I forget the exact scale, but I'm sure if Dick ever becomes available, he can share that with us. My friend Oral Parsons, my late friend Oral Parsons, would be very disappointed in me if I don't know the scales of this. This is HO here. I have a few cars of local interest that I gathered over the years, but I've never found a way to display them. So it's nice when you see them displayed. This isn't a big diorama here. It's small scale. There's an engine here with what appears to be a coal car behind it. And it's a D&H, Delaware and Hudson. There's a little train station. A lot of photos of the old traction company here. This is a more or less permanent display along with the Lozier Motor Company display. Those are pretty much you'll find anytime you come here currently to the museum, but this is a temporary display here with the trains. And this is Champlain Valley Railroad. So
Hi, Calvin. I'm ignoring you, but
I'm a married man, so I'm used to being ignored. Dick Soper.
okay. How you doing?
Good. What have you got today, Dick?
Well, we are here today celebrating the 155th anniversary of the Transcontinental Railroad completion, which was Promontory, Utah. And it was the holiday was started. It's not a holiday, but the celebration of this was started by Amtrak, I believe, in the 1960s to celebrate trains and the train travel. And so this is what we're doing here today. And we're featuring some of the dioramas by Gary Branstetter, who is right over there, that gentleman with the that's talking over there. He does these dioramas, and he does a beautiful job. They bring what otherwise could be a picture to kind of life and make it three-dimensional. Of course, these are all about trains.
Right.
And most of his here are all about the Delaware and Hudson Railroad. And the map we have here, if you want to take a look at this map, came from the Transportation Museum, where I used to be affiliated. And you can see the trains going over, they stop right here. This is as far as they go right here. And of course, where they stopped, there were no states there anymore. They were considered territories, okay? California was the state, but getting from here to the far west was the issue. And that map was dated in 1861.
Well,
So this
map
right here is,
cut itself off a little earlier.
well, it
on the
was
top.
what it was. We happened to find this map. It was donated to the Transportation Museum when we brought it here, because it features a lot of interesting stuff. You can see New England, all the trains there. You can see D&H didn't come up yet because they hadn't
Right.
dug the tunnel at Willsboro.
Right, but I'm looking at up there at the O&LC, Ogdensburg and Lake Champlain. And,
Yeah,
that's actually ended up in Rouse's Point. I don't know,
It did.
in 1850, so I don't know why it doesn't show it be right at the border there. That map is,
well, what it does, it went to the St. Lawrence River, And the purpose of the,
Right.
it was originally called the Northern Railroad.
Right,
And it was
1850.
to connect Lake Ontario with Lake Champlain.
Right,
Because it was very shallow, the river up through there, St. Lawrence River was too shallow for big boats.
Right, but
So
looking
that's-
at it, you wouldn't know that you're right at the border there
Yeah,
in,
yeah,
in Rouse's Point. Yeah, it was originally the Northern Railroad, opened in 1850, and then became the O&L, the LC, and then when it closed, it was the Rutland.
yeah, it certainly was.
Yeah, that was in.
We have a few other
10 years
things
later.
here from Plattsburgh. We got the dioramas, of course, but what we have here, this is the Delaware and Hudson, the map, full map, all the way from Wilkes-Barre to Montreal. And there was a fire at the old roundhouse. If you look over here, this is a picture of the roundhouse when it was not really in operation, but it was all there, at least anyway, where the turntables would turn to originally there were 10 stalls. And during the steam trains, they had to go inside at night because there was water. They had water in, they had to be ready to go in the morning. So that's what the purpose of these. And there was a fire, I believe it was 1992. The fire department put the fire out.
This Plattsburgh?
This is in Plattsburgh, the roundhouse here. And we're very lucky to have this map over here, which this map is from 1915. And this is one of the maps that was saved from that fire.
Oh, okay.
So you can see up here their turntable and roundhouse where you saw the 10 stalls.
Right.
That's what you just saw the picture there. You can see the Plattsburgh station over here on Bridge Street. You can see where it went, different places going out to the docks.
Right.
And there was a boat called the Oaks Ames, which was a ferry boat that was that hauled trains, believe it or not, from Plattsburgh to Burlington. That was before they had the well, I had a derailment over here. So yeah, so that was what this is over here. This is we're very glad we have this now to show people. We have a bunch of others too, but only so much wall space.
We're very lucky in the early 90s. Bob Ben and I went to Rouse's Point, and Mr. Rosenberger would work at the
I've
Rouse's
seen those
Point
videos,
station.
and I'm glad you
We went
captured
through
them
the
too.
roundhouse. We did what's that trains? What do you call that other thing there where the trains turn on the
Turntable,
track?
the turntable,
Yeah, we
yeah.
did the
Turntable and roundhouse,
The
yeah.
turntable is gone.
We're going to be going up there and doing some more shooting, some videos for the museum for a talk that I do on here on the railroads.
Trains crashed.
I know they did, yeah.
Okay. I didn't
I'll
know
have
if
to
you were
go,
gonna hurt
take me a
anything.
few minutes, but I have to put them all back.
I didn't want to hurt anything by,
You didn't hurt anything.
Your
So what we
your
have
former
over here,
cohort. He's your
if you
former
want-
cohort, isn't he?
The whole
Hey,
subject,
can I get your attention, please?
you certainly can.
I said, that's your former cohort.
It is. We used to kid. He said I was the director and he's my staff.
And who is he?
His name is Jim Farnan, and he helped me at the museum probably 6 years, I think, before
Something
it
like
closed.
that,
Yeah. And very knowledgeable about the same thing I am, about Lozier and about, I'm a little more into railroads than he is, but yeah, this is, we love history.
I can
And,
tell you're a railroad man because I can't get you off track once you start talking.
That's correct, absolutely. Come on over here to see these here, because we wanted to talk about model railroads.
little train humor there.
If you look over here and kind of pan up here, you're going to
Yeah.
see the different scales for hobbyists. This right here is the smallest one. It's not the smallest. There's actually Z scale,
Whoa.
which I don't really have. I only have 2 pieces of that. But this is N scale,
Uh-huh.
and this is HO.
That's a
this-
popular one, right?
Most
That's very
one of the most popular today, yeah. And then this right here is S scale, or better known as American Flyer trains. This is when they first came out. And this over here is O scale, and this mostly of these would end up being Lionel. Lionel's most popular, but other companies make them too. And this is the big guys here. This is what they call garden scale.
Uh-huh.
And most of these can be run outdoors. A lot of times in warmer climates than we have, they'll set up a beautiful garden with flowers and all this, and these trains will be running through the whole thing. So this is what we're celebrating. A lot of hobbyists here today.
I remember
And,
Mr. Cokes and the crew.
Yes,
music,
he had
a
one.
great one.
Yes,
Yeah, he had a
they
good
had a
one.
beautiful
Yeah,
layout.
we did that on video
Yeah,
too, fortunately, so we got that, yeah.
Yeah,
So, so you've got these dioramas, and
yeah. There's one
History,
over
and
there.
that's one I haven't gotten yet. Come on over, Dick.
A lot of beautiful details in the dioramas.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, and who's the diorama?
That is
What
Gary.
what is the
Gary
correct word?
Gary-
Diorama?
Diorama.
No, but the person who's doing it is a
Well,
diorama.
he's an artist, I would call. I don't know. I never heard of diorama, but but Gary, yeah, he does a beautiful job. You can see the beautiful details here, buildings, the glass windows, and all the various equipment. This, I think, was a wood mill, as far as I could tell.
Okay, and there's
Then
one.
we have a showcase here below that we have a little thing going with children when they come in. We have a term called full service, car full service, which you don't find very often today.
No.
And we have a gentleman here washing a windshield, which again, hard to find somebody to do that other than a car wash.
My wife won't even do it when I'm gassing
No?
up. No.
Okay. And then there's a guy here waiting to gas up once he's told what kind of gas they want. There's another gentleman checking the oil on this station wagon, and then at the bottom, there's a guy here airing up the tires. So this was done to show what full service is.
At 35 cents a gallon, you still got all that service.
That's right.
Now
You
we're paying
absolutely
10
did.
times that much and no service.
That's right. Yeah.
You got another
Do
one?
it yourself. Yep.
All right, do another one behind you here.
And this was another one. I'm not sure what this one is. Gary's gone downstairs, but
That's all right.
he could probably tell us. But there's a lot of beautiful detail here. The Hazen Boyd, whatever that is, company. And you can see the telephone pole, the transformer, and the little cars and that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's a smart way to do a diorama, because usually dioramas are huge and
Yes, they are.
you can't.
Yeah.
This way here you can.
And
do
these are all
a little
HO
display.
scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got some other ones down here. Now, along with this railroad stuff, this is National Railroad Day. That's the official title.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So is it going to be here beyond today?
It is not. No,
This is
we
it?
still have some exhibits. There's an exhibit over there, the exhibit on the Delaware and Hudson, but all the rest of this is a one-day deal. Because we have talks here in the evening. You come to them. We need to use this room for the different topics that we deal with. So, yeah,
So one day only, a lot of work for just one day event. here.
it is, but it's worth it. You can see there were a lot of people here. First, when we opened the doors, it was mobbed in here. You could, not a lot of room to move around.
Now, I know you
And we
worked,
appreciate people coming to see this.
you worked for many years, or several years at least, at the Transportation Museum.
I did, yeah.
Did you have an interest in railroads before that?
Oh, yeah.
or-
My uncle used to live on Miller Street, right where where the train crosses there. And they had a brick house, and I can remember when I was a little kid, in the wintertime, those trains, especially the freight trains coming up with the steam, blowing smoke way up, hundreds of feet in the air with and the house would rumble and shake and everything. And I remember that's what got my interest in trains. And then when my father bought the family, my brother and sister and I, bought us a Marx train setup. It was a figure eight on a 4x8 foot board. And I still have the train station, but the rest of the trains are long gone. And as I've gotten older, I'm interested in die-cast cars and that kind of thing. You remember the collection we had over at the museum.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, the model trains were the most popular spot there. No matter who people come in, they love the model trains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so this is going to show people what they missed here.
Yeah.
I'll try to get it on as soon as I
Well,
get
we're
back
open
in
till 3
Champlain.
o'clock, if
Open till
anybody.
3, so
Yeah.
I'll try to get this on as soon as I can, so
Oh,
people
okay.
can get themselves down here and
Well, we
see
appreciate
this
people
display
coming.
in person.
And the 24th at 6:30 in the evening, we're going to have a talk about railroads.
May 24th.
Yeah, we're going to start with the Rouse's Point Station, and we're going to go to the station in Morris. That'll be the first part of it. There's going to be a multi-stage thing, and then the second part too will cover the Lion Mountain operation,
Okay.
the railroad, including Dannemora, and we're going to cover Plattsburgh, the Plattsburgh train
Okay,
station.
so this
and-
be here or on site?
both of those will be here, but then we're going to follow up. We've got people doing videos and drones, and so we're going to enhance this. So a little bit later in the year, once we get all this other stuff, they just started shooting videos today. So once we get a little bit later in the year, we're going to have some very high-tech things for them to see.
Okay, the Railroad Museum in Rouse's Point. I think Jerry Favreau was in Rouse's Point
She
at the time.
was.
She worked very hard
Yeah, yeah,
on getting that so that it becomes a permanent exhibit.
yeah.
And Moore's is privately owned. It was Larry Marnes who recently
Yeah,
passed,
he
and I think
passed away.
I think it's moved into the hands of Chris Trombley.
It did, yes. Chris, well, I went up there, he showed me through the whole museum.
Yeah.
So what we're going to try to do eventually, again, this takes some time to do it, but I know when I got up there and I drove up to the station, I was a little disoriented about where the Rutland Railroad went and where the D&H went. And they explained it, and then I
At the
thought,
Rouse's Point?
this is the one in Moores.
Oh, okay.
And because the building is at a 70-degree angle in the
Yeah,
back to line
yeah.
up with the D&H. So anyway, I did research. We ended up with a wonderful map we've got now. So what we're hoping to do is start with a map, go to a drone footage, from the drone footage down to the actual station, and take a look at the caboose and the rail car, the station.
Yeah, it used to be a spur there that ran up through Scioto and so
Yeah.
on, and ended up there at Moore's
That's
for the
right.
D&H.
Yeah.
So it met up there with the Rutland,
Yeah.
and
Of course, Rutland opened up the trains all the way into Vermont and and further east, all the way to Boston.
yeah,
Apparently, there were, I believe that the earliest refrigerator car was built up here. It was originally a wood car, and they lined the inside of it with tin, and in between the wood and the tin was ice, all kinds of ice blocks in there to keep the dairy products cool, because they used to love the dairy products from this area in Boston. So
Yeah,
that
and,
started refrigeration of
and
trains.
it's interesting when you see the railroad tracks across the bridge there in Rouse's Point. There are
Yes.
actually two sets of tracks that were just
Yeah,
a few inches apart.
That's
but
correct.
One, Central Vermont would use one, and
yeah.
Rutland would use the others. They each
Yeah.
had their own tracks on the same
I
ties.
belong to the National Rail Historical Society, and they have meetings every month. I've been with them for quite a few years, and we held the Western Division, the Plattsburgh division of that group is at my house, and we have a big screen TV, so we Zoom. That's how we get the meeting in Zoom. Yeah,
And of course, in Shazy, we got a guy named William H. Miner who was very
That's correct.
interested in railroads, because that's
Yeah.
what made his millions, was the
did.
couplings.
Yeah.
The couplings, and he made millions and spent them wisely.
He did.
Building the physician's
no,
hospital.
when you
and
see
Shazy
the,
School.
if you ever take our elevator at our museum, we have a little mini exhibit in the elevator showing
Oh.
the construction of CVPH.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it gives a little bit of the, so it's a long, this is, Gary, can you come here just a second? This is,
He doesn't want to get derailed either.
yeah, he doesn't want to get derailed. Yeah, he's the one that did these dioramas. That's Gary.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So again, the 3 o'clock on the 11th is the last day you'll get a chance to see these, but you can see Dick Soper often there.
I'm here every Tuesday,
Every Tuesday.
10 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Yeah.
And the 24th, what day of the week is that?
I believe it's a Thursday. Yeah, we had a screen we pulled down. We're going to be doing the talk on the D&H. And on the, like I said, Rouse's Point will be first. Rouse's Point and Moores. Part 2 will be
Lion Mountain?
Lion Mountain in
Nice, they got a
Plattsburgh.
nice
Yeah.
museum there in Lion
Yes,
Mountain.
they do. I gave them a train. I donated it from the Transportation Museum. And they came down and picked it up. They built a cement pad for it and a building around the whole train.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
remember
there.
that, yeah.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think I was there when it arrived. I wasn't able to
Yeah.
get it leaving here, but because it was a slow process to get it all.
Yeah, another museum filled with beautiful things to see.
Oh, yeah.
We very much, we like that museum.
Yeah. And in Shazy, speaking of Shazy again, the old depot there, they're about the third or fourth business in there trying to make a go of it.
Yeah.
I think it's called the Whistle Stop right now.
Yeah,
They're,
yeah.
So it's nice to keep some of that history alive.
Yes, I photographed it before they actually converted it to a restaurant. I did some pictures up there.
Did you?
Because we had to we built the Shazy train station for the small HO layout we had at the Transportation Museum.
Oh, okay.
So they went with my pictures and they scratch built the building for it. Yeah.
Another guy with a lot of dioramas, trying to remember his last name. His sister was the editor at the Press Republican. I'll think of it after Bob Grady's wife, but I can't remember what her name is. But anyway, he's out of the Troy area, and he's got. So I've seen him at a lot of the train
yeah.
shows.
Yeah. It's amazing what all the houses around here, what you see in their basements and attics. There's trains all over the place. I've been lucky because I'm involved here with the different museums. I've been invited to some of these layouts, and I wish the public could see them. They're
Yeah.
amazing.
No, we had a great one in Rouse's and in Champlain with Oral Parsons. He had a tremendous collection. And
Yeah.
He had to eventually sell it to move to his new home, but he had a great collection there.
Yeah.
All right. So
Did you wanna-
we'll get him when he's
Okay.
available. All right, we're finally on track with this fellow. What's your name?
Gary Brandstetter.
B-R-A-N. I can go that far. How's the Stetter?
Brandstetter.
D. Okay,
A little bit German.
a little bit.
Little bit.
All right. So you were Plattsburgher?
Yes, I've lived here most of my life. Still out in Cumberland Head.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were a fireman?
I was for 30 years.
All right. There were firemen on the railroad too, you know.
Oh,
you
yes.
weren't one of those.
No, no.
All right, come on over here and we'll get closer to this one. So you built all these. We've kind
Yeah.
of taken a look at them already, but what sparked your interest in railroads?
Well, my parents gave me a train, an American Flyer, Christmas Day of 1955, and I've just been interested in them ever since. And once I grew up and got probably in my early 20s, I really had enough interest where I wanted to start building layouts and stuff. And I did. And here we are 50 years later, and I've still got layouts and building trains.
Well, I told Dick Soper what's nice about your dioramas is they're mobile.
Yes.
Most dioramas are huge,
Oh,
and once they're set
well,
there, you ain't going nowhere with them.
I have one layout at home that's 22 feet wide and 30 feet long. That's permanent.
You don't take that on the
No,
road.
that's permanent. But I built these dioramas because these buildings that are on them are kits. And I really liked the looks of them. So I ordered them, but they don't fit on my layout as to this area or the era. So I created these little dioramas where they could fit in their own place.
Okay. So they're in their own time zone.
Yeah. And if you'll notice here, the locomotive is Champlain Valley Railroad. There never was such a thing. That's my own railroad.
You created it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, the CV is Central Vermont. Not
Central
Champlain-
Vermont.
Not Champlain Valley.
That's right. Yeah.
So you created a railroad here.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
A railroad
I've never-
baron, huh?
I've never talked to a tycoon before. All right, and this, so none of these are local displays then?
No, these most of these kits were made by a man in Peabody, Massachusetts. His company was called Fine Scale Miniatures. The kits are really, really detailed and really nicely done. It probably would take, for something like you're filming right now, about 50 to 60 hours to paint and glue and put together. But they come out really good, very detailed, all the boards and the walkways and all the individual stairs and everything. And like I said, it gave me, I like building the buildings, and it gave the dioramas give me a place to put them.
All right, so as far as the Champlain Valley Railroad, what did you do? Buy an engine here and then paint it over it? And
Some of them I painted over, some of them I bought that hadn't been painted or labeled at all.
okay,
And there was a guy out in Illinois years ago that did custom decals, and he did a really nice job. So I just sent him the contents of what I wanted, and he sent me the decals, so they just slid right on, and
there you go.
we got our Champlain Valley Railroad up.
All right, so you've got several, like I said, we've already taken pictures of them, but you've got several here today. How many do you have here today, do you know?
5, and that's the full extent of what I have.
Okay, of the small ones. So far.
So far.
So
yeah.
far, there's
If
more.
if I run into another really good-looking kit building, I'm going to get it. We'll have 6 here next year.
Well, we know what to get you for Christmas. Okay, so appreciate you coming down and
that's
sharing
fun.
this with us. And are you able to get a word in edgewise when Dick's around here?
Oh.
Once he gets going, he loves this subject.
You have to just jump in. Just jump in.
You have to like a guy who
Yeah.
loves his topic here, and
Yeah.
he does a great job. Dick.
And he's a Lozier expert, too.
Oh yeah, I know. We talked to him at the transportation museum.
Yeah.
He's and it's nice that he's around to share all that knowledge with
Yes,
everybody. And
yes.
he does it on a weekly basis here. Every
Yeah.
Tuesday he's here to share
Yeah.
some of that knowledge with the folks.
Absolutely.
And if you've got a piece of knowledge that you think Dick might appreciate hearing, other
Yeah.
people could stop in, and like yourself here, and say, hey, I got this.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Dick has been out to my house and layouts. He knew that these were
Right.
around.
Right.
And
The
when
other
he,
things that people do that he's
Yeah.
not aware of. But
oh, I was telling the story earlier that many years ago, I lived out in Cumberland Head. And one day I'm outside by the road when the mail comes down. And the girl delivering the mail hands me my mail, and there's a model railroader magazine. And she said to me, she said, do you do this too? And I said, yeah, I've done it for years. She said, there must be 100 people out here that get this magazine.
Really? Wow.
Every month when it comes out. So 50 or 100 people just on Cumberland Head, but you don't know who they are.
She wouldn't give you their names?
They're basement railroaders.
Okay. My uncle Romeo Trudeau had a farm out there for many years.
Oh, I
so-
did work for
Did you?
Romeo as a scuba diver.
Oh.
I used to go out in the lake. He had a line out in the lake that he used to pull water out of,
Okay.
and he'd always try and screw you the first time you worked for him. But after he'd find out you wouldn't put up with it, he kept calling me back all the time. Then when I got done scuba diving for him, come on up, and he said, have a drink with me. We'd sit in the living room
He
and
was
talk.
just testing you.
He was, yeah. Nice. I ended up liking him. Can I ask you now? Were you any relation?
Okay, he just wanted to get a little information on other cast irons in and around the area. But we want to close here. If you're watching this on the 11th of May, get your back side and your front side and your railroad side down here and take in this display. The talk that Dick Soper is going to give is actually on May 23rd. As we were leaving, Helen Nurska showed me their sheet with all their upcoming dates, and we looked, and it's the 23rd, so it's not the 24th. The 23rd, right here at the Clinton County Historical Association, just off the little roundabout up by the Burger King here in Plattsburgh on the Route 9 South, on the old base here in beautiful downtown Plattsburgh. We'll stop in May 23rd and learn everything you need to know about railroads and Rouse's Point and Moores, with more to come in the future.